Icons in the Christian tradition have been described as theology in line and colour. They are representations of holiness, ways of speaking about God through visual representations of Jesus, of Mary, the saints, the angels. So they're made with human hands, but they offer an opening onto what is divine, what is sacred.
It's just made of matter. Yet, apparently, it's spiritual. Human beings are made of matter, but apparently they're spiritual. We're material animals, yet we're also intellectual. We have functions, yet we have aspirations and goals and telos, purpose, which we see even to transcend ourselves. As human beings, we desire something, the true, the good, the beautiful. And these material objects apparently are pointing beyond their materiality to something which transcends them. So that's why they're iconic. They're windows into the souls of humans. And they're doing so by being material. That's the weirdness of it. They didn't come down from outer space. They're formed by humans.
Icons exist in a specific context, the context of devotion, of worship. So they are hung in churches, they're placed in homes, they are processed in public. But in all of these different scenarios, their point is not to adorn or beautify, but to bless.
When iconographer is creating an icon, usually it is not created for himself, but for a people or a person or a group of people or even churches. When he or she is creating an icon, he always think about other people, how they will react to it, and he's not doing it for himself, but to help others to become closer to God.
So we know that icons have this devotional context, but what about their extended context, the social and political context that icons exist within? How do icons change for us in the context of crisis, for example? So we at the Department of Theology and Religious Studies at the University of Nottingham wanted to ask this question in collaboration with our counterparts at Ukrainian Catholic University, and to ask specifically, how does war in Ukraine change the encounter with the icon? And in asking that question, we are really asking how theology, if icons are theology in line and colour, how does theology shift and change in a period of crisis? And there's a really long tradition of theology being probed and challenged in different situations of pressure, of crisis, of tragedy.
So theology has always been contextual to world historical events, to the conditions that people find themselves in. And so theology at its best is, I think, responding to the conditions and is speaking to particular kinds of people in given times. And this project tries to attend to that.
So to explore this question of how our encounter with icons might change in a period of crisis, we held 2 iconography workshops. One was held at Ukrainian Catholic University with members of the public there, and one was held at the University of Nottingham with Ukrainian exiles and those of Ukrainian heritage living in Nottinghamshire and Derbyshire. We invited participants to make their own reverse glass icons in traditional Ukrainian folk art style, and to talk with us about their experience of icons and the significance of icons during this period.
I think a lot of people who came today, they don't know too much about Ukrainian iconography tradition, and for them it is turning back to their roots and thinking about their roots. I understand them very well because I also moved to England after the war started. Iconography on glass is not about perfection, it's not about excellent line, it's not about ideal color application, but it's about the truth, the lifeline, about application color and choosing color, how you feel it. So the first step of painting icon on glass is tracing the drawing. And the interesting thing about iconography on glass that we are doing all the processes in the reverse. The second stage was shadow application. We did this with two colors, with red and with gray. And the last step, which is the easiest one but the most creative one, is to apply the color.
At different points in the day, we discussed with participants what it is that icons do and how it is that what icons do might find new meaning or be heightened in particular ways in a time of crisis. And we returned again and again to the topic of hope. Hope as that which trusts in and reaches out for a goodness that present circumstances might seem to deny. Might it be that icons especially call forth or provoke this hope?
And so what these icons do is it helps to depict that there is this other reality, this other glorious reality, this other hoped for reality that is worth pursuing and is worth acting towards and in.
Participants told us that sometimes when they're looking at an icon, it can seem that the icon is looking back. And in this exchange, this turn-taking, the moment becomes slower in a way. And so we asked, well, what is the temporality of an icon? And what might the significance of that temporality be, especially in a time of war?
It's iconic even because it reminds us of the value of humans and the time it takes to make a human, also the time it takes to make an icon, whilst to kill a human can be instantaneous. So the way that time is slowed down in icons, slowed down in the formation of human in the womb, a human growing up in life, and icons reflect that. They point back to the value of human beings, and it's a different temporality than the fog of war and those who bring about war. They press a button and boom, gone. But icons bring us back to how we slow love down, we slow beauty down, we slow our affections with people, we slow that's actually how humans are at their most human.
Icons appear to foster hope in the alternative presence that they embody, and they appear to nurture a particular kind of temporality that might be of special significance in a time of war. We're excited to see where these theological suggestions might take us next.